All right, we're going pure tactical. We're going pure meta ads. All the ecom brands are running on the Facebooks and the Instagrams. So we got to do a whole episode dedicated to meta ads this season. I'm John Coyle. This is the Checkout Podcast. I'm the VP of Marketing at Royo Bread Company, and I've also sold a paid media agency and an ecom brand. Nick Shackelford, the king, the godfather.
Allegedly.
No, you're not the godfather. You're the godfather's mentor.
Godfather's son.
Yeah, you're the godfather's son of meta ads. One of the,
very OG, very OG.
Big course guy. You probably got one of the highest selling meta ads courses out there, but you've been in the game for a long time on meta ads.
Yeah.
And then Bart also, I mean, all in all, between the three of us, probably have about 40 years of meta ads experience.
Jeez, over the hill.
Because it's like 13.
Yeah. I haven't
So
been
39.
media buying for that long.
Oh, okay, well,
5.
We'll cover whatever.
Yeah, give me a
we'll cover
5
the
piece.
difference. Yeah. So, I mean, 35 plus years, 30 years of meta ads experience. So
Yeah.
a lot of meta ads
I've
experience
watched
here.
ads.
And we've
We've been watching ads for years.
I've seen so many infomercials, so I'll probably be good. So meta ads questions here. We've been agency side, we've been brand side, lots of spend between
I would say majority of my life for the past, majority of my working life has circulated on some ads. Like ads have been involved in our lives, whether we're thinking about it, whether we're participating, whether we're sharing it, whether we're consuming, whether we're buying from it.
Yep.
Ads are a major part of
I feel like
my
whenever
identity.
I post something on X creative for Dad Gang, you always reply and you're like, please tell me this is an ad. Make it an ad.
Yeah,
I'm like,
is this an ad account?
it's not.
Yeah,
but
will
maybe
be.
it will be now. Yeah.
It should be. All right, cool. First question. I've been running meta ads for my brand for the past 5 years, and I'm always worried my tactics are out of date, but I don't really want to mess with my ad account too much because if it's not broken, don't fix it, right?
Yeah.
I get this a lot. People are like, I don't know, like I saw this guy said I should be doing like, one campaign and one ad set and all my creatives in there. And I saw this guy said I should have a creative testing campaign. Like, I'm just kind of doing this.
I like to set the stage though, that you are the expert tactical guy in this one. And I'm the Chad media buyer.
Yeah,
because that is true.
Agree.
I think Nick is a big time Chad media buyer, but that's just me.
Some constraints with dude,
You look under the hood a lot more than I do though.
Yeah. Structurally too. Like I think I nerd out more on. See, I still love the days of like a media buyer can influence everything.
I know.
Those are the days, and I
That was
remember
fun.
those days.
Yeah.
And now I have to realize
It's all creative.
slowly it's not the truth. Like like if there's an alpha after all the other things have been covered and the bases are right, offer, page, brand, product, and then like you have a 1% media buyer on that, like they can make a difference. That's some value. But generally speaking, for the majority of people, you want to consume content, but this is like you have to consume content with the correct frame because there's so many people you can consume from. Today I have a debate with two very polar opposite opinions about how meta ads are ran.
Yeah.
But you need to know within reason, just like baseline before John, I throw it back to you, is what can I spend? What can I afford to acquire a customer on? And how many tests can I really run that doesn't put me into the deep red? Because you can listen to all this shit, but then you're gonna have to spend a bunch of money to make sure you can prove it out.
Yeah. I'm curious what you do here, Bart, because I think when you get into brand side buying, this is when this happens. When you're agency side, or like specifically when I was at Triple Whale, and it's like I open up however many of these a day, 8 to 10 of these a day. I'm like, oh, I see what people are doing. Yeah. And then, all of the influencers out there around account structure. So you got your Nick Theriouts, you got your Charlie T, you got your like all the people who tell you how to structure a meta ad account. Common thread, like I open those up and I see like you get good at recognizing like, oh, this is where this person learned to do account structures. Oh, this is, I'll even be able to open it up and be like, I know what agency's running this account.
That's crazy.
Because you see so many of them. So when you're agency side or when you're like Triple Whale, you just see a bunch of them. And so you're never worried that your like account structure is like out of date or you're not using the most up-to-date tactics. Mm-hmm. But this person's like, oh, I'm brand set. And I'm like, oh yeah, you just lose all those reference points. So I'm curious, like, do you ever worry that like you're like not using the right tactics? Or you're just like, I just don't worry.
I don't think I'm worried about my structure because it's so simple. Mm-hmm. And we've never like I mean, we're still heavy on mainly Meta, a little bit of TikTok, small portion on Google, and then like I just started Reddit because somebody told me to. Like it was just like you should try to be there, and I'm trying it at a very low spend. But no, because my structure is so simple. It's like Advantage Plus straight to website, Advantage Plus shops and website, some DPAs, some traffic for audience growth. And then if we do like a collab or like a really special release that has a lot of SKUs,
then it gets its own campaign.
And I've never fallen out of that structure, and it's never not
in all your new
really worked for me.
In all your new creative tests, just go into your Advantage Plus campaign.
Exactly. Yeah. And it seems like, and I could be doing this wrong. Like I might be the wrong person to ask, but like it seems like if I have, say, 3 new concepts for ads, and for us, statics have always just done a lot better than video because it's a hat and we have really good hat photography. And then I just build around the framework of the hat has done better.
Yeah.
But if I feed in new creative or like new static concepts or new video concepts, it seems that Advantage Plus will take it to the better performing ad. It's not like taking a new ad and putting more spend behind it. It's taking that new ad, gauging it against what I already have in there, and then promoting it if it does do better.
Do you turn off ads at all?
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
When they're not performing or when you're just out of stock or?
When they're not performing, not getting spend.
Do you have a decision-making process around it's not performing for a certain amount of time or something like that?
Yeah, usually like 10 to 14 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Here's how I see account structure, that all of the little details we talk about around account structure, I've broken them down to like, this comes down to one fork in the road. All right. You could go left or you could go right. Left is you dedicate spend to every creative test. Right is you put new creative tests into campaigns that are already spending on proven ads. Right. And every other thing of like, oh, you should use ASC, one ads, all of that is like, okay, it's just some variation of that. Yeah. It's some wrinkle of every creative test I put into the ad account gets dedicated spend, and I make sure I spend money on it using ad sets or new campaigns or however I do it. Or it just gets put into active campaigns and gets put next to ads that are already getting spent.
That's what I do. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just every account structure thing comes down to those two things. And as far as I can tell, either is pretty good. The right side where you're putting it into active campaigns, or you're putting them, creative tests next to in already spending campaigns or next to ads that are already spending. That seems to work really well for account stability when you don't have like really good performance, where it's like, I need to improve performance. I kind of need to do an account turnaround. A lot of times suggest that kind of structure for an account turnaround, because usually your hit rate on new creative tests is really bad. So I'm like, if you spend on every new creative test, this is going to be hard to turn this account around.
Agree.
So you're kind of going to just have to take the performance you can get and put that and just take new shots. And then every now and then it's like, okay, then we'll stabilize the performance and then we'll find something that does demand spend. So that seems to work pretty well. And that gives good stability, but then there's a little bit of a scale limitation when it's going well. And then, giving spend to every test, as far as I can tell, seems to work better when the account's more bullish and your hit rate on creative test is higher, because it just gives you more creative diversity and more spend on more creatives, right? And which gives you more audience coverage. So that's what we do at Royo, is we do dedicate spend to every test, but it's because we've had a really good account stability for a long time. And we have probably 30, 40, like, how you see a lot of ad accounts and it's like 3 ads are taking 80% of the spend. That is not the case for us.
Yeah, it's a blessing.
Yeah. So that's like kind of, I think in my mind, that's like where you want to get, where you are spending on every creative test. But your way, I think, works just fine. And it gives you good, stable performance over a long period of time.
Helps me do less.
And it helps you do less.
That's the biggest thing, is like, you look at Meta. Meta is a file system. Like you have campaigns, inside the campaigns, you have ad sets, inside of ad sets, you have ads. Yeah. And
but it all comes down to the philosophy of, does every creative get spend, or do I put it next to winning stuff?
Yeah. You got to jump off. You got to go left or right on these things.
Yep.
And the segmentation of like organization comes down to, I think another layer after you make the decision of how I'm testing is like, okay, well, how am I making sure I'm getting decisions around this?
Yep.
Well, if the decision is like, I need to know if this offer or this AOV is the correct thing, it's hard to put multi AOVs. Like you wouldn't put like the God pack of all hats in a existing test because it's just a completely different consumer AOV.
Yeah, that's its own campaign at that point.
Yeah,
yeah.
But
exactly.
That's a logical decision. I think 'cause a lot of people are going like, oh well, I'm going to sell a phone and then I'm going to sell AirPods and then I'm going to sell a MacBook. I'm like, yeah, they're all the same brand, but those are very different consumers and those are very different buying periods and those are very different consideration periods.
Yeah. So
you should separate that.
Different offer, different campaign. You have to dedicate spend to it. If it's going to get a wildly different AOV or if it has wildly different margins, you have to dedicate spend.
I think people get caught up in this stuff though.
That's true. Yes, they do. Sometimes people combine them into the same campaign.
That question is like a very clear question. Like, well, how do I know I'm staying up to date on it? If the biggest test I find out is if I jump into an ad account and I can understand clearly what that it is that they're trying to do, not necessarily, it doesn't have to be on the naming convention.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, logically they're running these offers and they're running with these creative.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. If I look and I'm like, wait, the AOV is this, the CPC is this, CPMs, when they're all out of whack, usually they're combining a bunch of different experiences or landing page experiences or AOVs or various product offerings that take too long to really understand why they're doing that.
Yeah.
That to me is like a huge red flag. I'm like, dude, this is organizationally difficult to find.
I would say
maybe we should restructure this.
I would say for the most part, people should be running fewer offers unless they don't have like a good proven offer. Does that make sense?
Actually, I might even disagree on this because
for the most part, because I think at scale you should be running more offers, but I don't think most people are at that kind of scale.
Yeah, but how do you get to
most people?
How do you get to that scale though?
I think you can get a long way on your main proven offer. I would think people have a tendency to prematurely try more offers and like spread their account out, and then a lot of the offers don't work, and then that's how they end up in the red. Where it's like, okay, once you try a new offer, mathematically, what I want to be able to dedicate like 5% or less of my spend to a new offer. And that's still a significant amount of spend that I'll be able to get data back quickly on that new offer. Does that make sense?
Yeah. But that's also depending on the stability of the account. Like the account is in cruise control as yours is currently. It's just like, I talked to this one guy, it's like, you go into periods of feast and famine. You'd be like, I have nothing working right now. I have no choice but to spend across as many different varieties to find what's working. And if I've tried all these creative variations, well, you're going to have to find something else that's going to convince them to make a purchase.
If you've got nothing working, then yes, you have to try offers.
If everything is balanced and you're like, well, am I going to try a new avatar or concept? It's just levels of like, am I doing new avatar, new concept, new page, new offer? Oh my God, that's a lot of things. Like what is working and not working versus like, I'm just going to try new creative or I'm just going to try new offer with proven creative. Like there's like if and statements depending on the intensity of what you need to prove.
Yeah, I usually, if nothing's working, I usually like offer. But if I do have one working, I actually just like to try offer on the other. Like I like to advertise product or advertise, like benefits, and then offer happens on the other side.
I like that. Yeah, I like that as well.
Offer happens on the page side.
Back to his question, like it's good to listen, but I would parking lot that. I would be like, all right, is this something that I want to consider? Is there a scenario that I actually want to deploy this in? Because each tactic discussed needs to be applied to the scenario that you're currently running in.
I'm worried my tactics are out of date. I don't want to mess with it because if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Hey, mentor.
Yeah.
Get someone over your shoulder, give you a gut check.
Yeah, easy. And if it's not broken, that means you got some money. If you got some money, go to Mentor Pass and hire Nick, hire me, or hire anybody, or anybody. Yeah. And have a few people look at it, and if they say the same thing, then maybe do that. If they don't say the same thing, or if they say different things, then it's probably good. Like if they all give you different advice, then it's like, okay, then you're probably fine.
Yeah. I've been told that before though, like on the creative end, that some of our like ads look outdated, right? But if that outdated ad, I'm selling to dads, pretty simple. Like we're not complicating it with a huge landing page educating you around what a hat is and all this stuff. Like I've been told that before, but the ad is just crushing. So or like I wouldn't change that just because it feels outdated, right?
Yeah, I agree.
And same with this guy, like he might feel a little paranoia of being outdated, but if it's not broken, it's profitable and it's working, then maybe don't change it. Like I agree, like have somebody sense check you, maybe talk to a friend that's a media buying and be like, hey, what do you think of this? Yeah. But no, I mean, you're lucky that it's not broken.
I would, I generally speaking would say well, I don't know what you mean by if it's not broken, but like if you're
Yeah.
just kind of like, yeah, the business is working fine, it's growing or whatever, then their effort is probably better
Probably
spent
looking to like crack into another
Yeah.
like
tier
better return or something.
or
Yeah.
he's just like, am I falling behind? Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I generally speaking, yeah, have somebody look at it is probably the
Ask
answer. But
ChatGPT.
also, it's probably fine is the answer as long as you're like, oh, I'm pretty clear on how I creative test if they get dedicated spend or not, and then I'm pretty clear on how I make decisions of how I cut things or keep things or scale things.
I do hate the lazy answer of Ask AI, but you could put in all your information on like how things have been going over the past 6 months.
Yeah.
And put in that data and put in the types of creative you have, and you'll probably get some inputs there too.
Yeah, potentially. Basically, two questions for you. Do you know how you put creatives into the account and test them? Like, do they get dedicated spend or not? Do you know do you have a general, like, could you write down, here's how I decide to keep, cut, scale things?
Yeah.
If those two things are true, then you're probably fine.
Yeah. I've seen like simple shifts work too. Like we talked about, like sometimes it's your offer, but I've seen simple stuff like, say we're advertising a hat, and at one point I tried 3 different campaigns for 3 different hats, like solo campaigns. And then those campaigns would be filled with creative only around that hat.
Yeah.
And that seemed to perform super well too, because it was just, it's a lot more work. You're building campaign structures around one product, but if you have a lot of SKUs, it's worth it. But that's a simple test, right?
Yep.
Instead of leading to like our shop all page or whatever it was.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Good point.
Are you making sure that you're getting every bit of profit out of every purchase on your site? A big thing I've been thinking about lately as the cost to advertise goes up is how do I maximize the value of a customer? And so there's really 2 things. I want to maximize their average order value when they are making a purchase on my site. I also want to maximize the repeat purchase rate and the speed of the repeat purchase rates. So a big thing people don't think about is how quickly their customers are repeat purchasing. They're thinking about how many of them are repeat purchasing, but not how quickly. Recently, I've been using Redo's post-purchase order tracking tool to make cross-sells on my order tracking page. So that means when I send the order tracking link to my customers, I'm making cross-sells on that page, and they're getting product recommendations on that page. Now, this is pretty big because that order tracking email, that is one of your most clicked emails. So that is prime real estate. You got to be using that real estate to make cross-sells and make offers. Most people think of Redo as a return software, but they're actually sort of this all-around post-purchase platform. They're there to help you maximize profit from your past customers, period. The post-purchase experience is something I've been thinking about a lot lately. So I actually made a checklist. It's a 10-point checklist of the 10 things I do to maximize value from a customer after the purchase. You can grab that in the link below this video. If you're on YouTube, you can click below to grab that. Or if you're on an audio platform, you can of course grab it in the show notes. Just tap down there and you can get my 10-point checklist for maximizing post-purchase profit. That is an excellent alliteration. Let's get back to the show. How do you find winning ad angles?
Creative test them.
Yeah, maybe the question is, how do you come up with ideas for them?
I think this is the easiest time to do this now than ever before.
Yeah. Look around.
This is pick your head up, open your eyes.
Yeah, give some tactical, some tools or some things you use. Yeah.
Okay. We do. So first off, we have constant. So we're very fortunate that we get to see a lot of designs and edits coming through. We have Creative OS, Foreplay, Adnova, there's Atria. Like all these have discovery of your product and your niche. You have your direct competitors that you just can kind of literally go Facebook ads library lookup. Now, I like using the other tools because you can start seeing landing pages that they're running to. And if you see some of the higher end spenders, you can be like, wow, like that is a ad to page congruency on another level. So I think that's what I like about those most likely. And dude, one of my favorite things to do that earlier on when you have nothing, you go pull 5-star competitors, 5-star reviews on Amazon, 3-star reviews on Amazon, and 1-star reviews on Amazon of direct competitors. And you throw this into GPT or an award cloud, and you start seeing some of these like common uses, and you just start talking to it and asking questions. What is consistently repeated? And the reason why you want 1, 3, and 5, they may have paid for them, or there's some reasons why it's a 5. 3 is, that this didn't do what I thought it did, but it did some things. And 1, you just got people that are pissed. Mm-hmm. And so you kind of want a range of like what to avoid, what is kind of good about this product, and what is incredible about this product. Mm-hmm. And I think you just tailor that towards some iterations of creation, and then at least give you a place to jump off from.
Yeah.
The even more simple one is go scroll Instagram and whatever catches your eye that is an ad and you thought it was like it stopped you.
Yeah.
Then try that for your brand.
That's a good one. So one of my things that I like to do is on your own Instagram, just scroll through and anything that stops you, ask yourself like, how would I variate this for an ad for my brand or for an ad for XYZ brand? Like it could be just like a comedy skit or like a whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's like, oh, this isn't an ad though. It's not about a product. That's what you think. You think you're just consuming content. And I'm like, yeah, no, but that's the exercise. So if you're looking to find winning ad angles, find content that has done well, that's stopping you or that has a lot of engagement or whatever, and say, how would I make this into a brand relevant thing?
Or go even a little deeper, like say you sell air fryers. Let's go like really boring product and like go on the best person that, I don't know, KitchenAid or somebody that makes Ninja, like makes air fryers, and then go to their account and look at their most engaging organic content.
Yeah.
And based off that, you could probably get some creative inspiration. And then
that's good.
I even like to go, I this doesn't get brought up too much, but I like to go on Pinterest and look up say like type in headwear. For me, it would be headwear, right? And you'll get a ton of static ads because people run a lot of static in-feed explore ads across Pinterest, and you'll get so many static results that are ads. And I like to pull from there. And I don't know, I think like where to pull inspiration, we've never been in a better time.
Yeah.
Where it's
so true.
The easiest thing to do is like find new stuff. Just search for it across those platforms.
This is easy. Like this is there's never been an easier, there used to be a time there was no spy tools and people had swipe files.
Yeah.
Like there was whole people selling massive amounts of swipe. I think literally Comment Thread Collective has the last 5+ years or 3+ years of Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals and pages and offers. What?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah. So
and when they went live, that's cool. Okay.
I like to frame it like this because it has never been easier. So I'm always like, okay, well, how can I do it different than other people do ideation? I think people undervalue creative ideation. So I think people overvalue creative volume and undervalue creative ideation.
Okay.
Here's my framework for this. So Mr. Beast has a role in his company that he hires called creative. And their job is to come up with video ideas for the company that is the best in the world at coming up with video ideas. And it's the highest paid role in his company. I'm like, okay, if he is the person who gets the most views and eyeballs out of anybody, and that's the thing he values most, why are we spending all this money on creative volume and not very much resource on creative ideation? So then it is very easy. And that's the reason, is because there's just so many sources. And so I think coming up with that ideas, it's not hard, but I am always looking for like, okay, well then how can I do it? If it's so easy for everybody, like how do I get above the bar on that?
The issue with this is like, okay, with that framework, the creative strategist should be one of the most highly paid people you have on the company. Brands can't afford that.
I don't think
they go to volume.
I don't think that creative strategists do what I'm talking about. I think
that's the role that it
you're talking about more.
I think creative strategists are usually operational managers of. You need somebody
processes. to be. You need somebody to be. Yeah,
that's
clever.
That's not how a lot of people. I think that is an opinion of how some people view. Some people view creative strategists operationally and strategically of what is the concept.
For sure. I'm saying my experience with creative strategists is that they're not really like creatives. They're more like operational managers of your creative sources, if that makes sense.
Okay. Ops.
Yeah. They're more like and so like they do come up with angles, but a lot of times they just lean into the proven. Let me tell you our actual framework for this at Royal. We say, okay, there's 3 types of creatives. There is internally like proven. There is outside inspired, and then there's outside the box. Okay. And so we just kind of look at it like, of all the creative we launch, we want 50% of it to be internally proven, meaning we've run something like this before. How do we run this angle back in a different way, in a unique way with a different person, et cetera?
Nice. Yep.
Outside inspired is we've seen other brands running something like this. We have reason to believe it's working. Let's do it. Right. And that was like 50%, and then like probably 30%, and then 20% is outside the box, where we're saying, how do we do none of that?
Yeah.
Like if another brand's doing it, we don't want to do it. right? Like, how do we do that, right? And that's the hardest to come up with from an idea standpoint. It also has the lowest hit rate, but the highest upside when it does hit.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does.
So that's kind of like, yeah.
You try to maintain a balance of that in the accounts.
50, 30, 20 roughly is ours, but I think it's kind of like, could be 60, 40 or 60, 30, 10, or it could be, like depending on where your account is. But yeah, that's kind of how 50, 30, 20 is probably a good baseline, and you could go up and down on each from there. You know what I mean?
It's all, I think a little bit of this is like really brand dependent, because some brands can get away with similar stuff to the rest of the industry. And then some brands really need out of the box stuff.
If you're price competitive, then you could get away with similar stuff to the rest of the industry. If you're not price competitive, then your messaging needs to be. I do agree though, like just from an industry standpoint, like the creative strategist should be, that title should go to more of the like idea person.
I agree.
Not some tactical operator that manages stuff. Like it's gotta be like your crazy thinker, artist, clever person in the corner, like thinking of new concepts that are a little wild, little different. That's creative strategy to me.
That's what I am. I'm under that influence too.
Yeah.
I think that's what you're talking about.
But I don't think that's how most of them operate, is what I'm saying.
I think that's...
they come up with the internally approved variations and the outside inspired ones. Like, so that 80, they cover really well. They source them. They make sure that the freaking engine runs, and they're great at it. But I think most of them don't actually.
That's like a manager. That's a creative manager.
I know, but I'm just saying that's how I think that's how most of them, and that's because the creative strategist role, which I still maintain, you and I invented this role.
Honestly, that was
we
were really early on this.
Yeah, and then to call people creative strategists.
I do actually. So.
Yeah, and so which is, we meant it to be that, and what it's become is because so many agencies were the first to employ creative strategists. Most of the people who have any kind of creative strategist background are just running creative ops because they have to do so much of it for so many brands. They don't actually have time to be like, oh, how can I come up with an idea for this brand that no other brand is doing?
I think it takes me back to like Mad Men. Like I think John Hamm was a creative strategist. He was just coming up with like, he was going away, drinking whiskey, smoking.
They used to call them copywriters.
Yeah.
Honestly.
But he was coming up with like the crazy idea for this one company because we have one shot.
Here's the pitch, guys.
They didn't have infinite shots like we do every single day. So it was like, this is the one shot. We're going to do a billboard, TV commercial, radio ad. And I think to this day, like that person is necessary just in a different form. So if I hired a creative strategist for Dad Gang, I'd be like, here's
You'd expect him to do that.
How we've been selling Dad Gang hats is this. Okay, now go give me a bunch of new shit and come back with that. And then like a manager or somebody that implements the ads would do it.
Do you have a creative strategist that does this?
Yeah, Daniel. We have Daniel. So we have an incredible creative setup, probably bigger than most people. And it's a beautiful thing. So we have Daniel, head of creative, Corbin, head of brand, Sarah, head of creative or creator. And then we have underneath that, Josephine, a copywriter that we internally, externally, and then a handful of other agency partners for different perspectives.
Yeah.
And so like we control internal approved and consistency and repetition, but there's still, and Andrew's a head of creative as well. And so we have very big creative people that usually fund and support the ad execution and delivery. So the most in demand and consistent thing is ads, but the concept and ideation still lives within Daniel. So we have him, he's traditionally trained as a creative and copywriter, but he has to play the role of like deployment and measurement, or else all the work that he's spending time and effort on ideating doesn't get deployed or utilized or researched. Yeah. So I think this is that's why I believe that you have half your creative people outside and some inside, because you need that perspective,
people,
man.
You need people that have different perspectives and aren't poisoned by knowing what works.
And aren't going like, well, my job is to do volume. Like, again, you show me the incentive, you show me the goal. And if
you got some volume people and some low volume people.
You have to you have to have like, you're measured upon ideation of concepts. You're measured upon the deployment of the assets.
I think some of the biggest like standout companies that have done this well, like if you look at the biggest dogs, like, True Classics and Liquid Death,
Squatch.
They are multiple podcasts and interviews where like we emphasize that role. I think the True Classics guy came from Hollywood and TV and that kind of stuff. So his brain was already wired for like, we need concepts. We need to make a t-shirt for guys that want to cover up their belly and not go to the gym, and then lean into that concept with creative, hire comedians, actors, all this stuff, and like really run with that. It's bad advice for somebody that's not at that level per se, but that is how they started out.
Agree.
And then Liquid Death, same thing. That founder is like just a wacky idea guy. Like he's
big
just
creator, big vision. Yeah,
big vision. And he's just like always, I don't know. I think you do, if you can have the resources, like just go have that person that's always thinking of something new, while also just getting inspiration from the resources we named earlier.
I think,
you need that balance.
A lot of the stuff you named really helps with the like internally proven, how do we variate that? It really helps with the outside inspired, what's working for others. A couple other tools that I'll just say that I think help with the outside the box ideation is one is non-digital advertising. So like literally watch television ads, especially infomercials. Or like late night, go to Sports Center late at night when it's like direct response TV ads, or watch even like brand ads when you're watching like a sports game or something like that. So that's one. And then print magazines, I think, are like very good for direct response ads. There's a lot of direct response ads in magazines. Tabloid magazines, just like looking at the hooks and titles on the covers is really good.
Because those are people that have one shot.
Yeah, exactly.
So they need to get it right.
Yeah. And then the last one that I like a lot is I kind of started weirdly building a little bit of a network of comedians who I could tap for like a consulting call and be like, hey, I'll pay you $200, $500. You don't have to pay them very much. They're like, money? Yes, I would like to get money.
And then
I don't have to
money. I don't have to sit on stage.
Money,
practice.
and I don't even have to be on stage. And you just tell them, hey, I want some outside the box, out there ideas for this. And then a lot of times, like if they have a skit idea or something like that, they can also execute that for you if you want. So those are a couple ways that I like to do.
I love the watch TV commercials thing, because my buddy who's got this million on YouTube and just he creates viral organic videos for brands. But him and I were chatting the other day and he was saying the same thing. He's like, Bart, I have a great concept for a dad gang potential viral ad or organic video. And it comes from this commercial of, I think it was a beer commercial of a bunch of dads going up on the roof, pretending to work on the roof. And then they're all looking around each other and they actually have like folding chairs. And that's like their beer hangout while their wives think they're like replacing some tiles up there.
They got like a hammer and they're like,
and he's like, dude, let's just let's literally recreate that. And let's not involve drinking, because we're trying to like be good fathers here. But like, let's just like get up there. You got your hat. You got your hat. Like, let's create that moment in our own way. And I've seen it done a couple other times through him, where he's like, dude, I saw this commercial from like '93. It was hilarious. And I think it would work as a concept for your brand. Yeah. So I don't know, even go back, be like funniest commercials of 1995.
Yeah.
And then can you pull out concepts out of that? And you probably can, because they had to get it on the first try.
That's funny you brought that up, because we've been watching old school cartoons with Kingsley, because like the Rugrats and Rocket Power, and the ads that start running there, I'm like, dude, these were up in your face and like colors and crazy. I was like, whoa, like they like went all out on these things.
They were one-shotting their wins.
Yeah, it cost so much money.
Dude, these people would win awards for a solo commercial. I'm like, what? Like that part, that's a great call out. Like OG good ads.
I think
when they had the one-shot ROI.
And the appreciation for like majority of the people in consumption or like into buying power now are kind of like the millennial, a little bit older millennial. Speak to us. Why are these ads not speaking to us? Especially, and we love nostalgia.
No, that's the other thing is like, we remember certain commercials, like our age, 35, 37, like we remember those certain impactful Budweiser horse, frog, lizard commercials.
Dude,
like
I think somebody could recreate the old
but you're subconsciously like, if you pull a concept out of that for your brand and you sell to millennials, you are subconsciously tapping that feeling again.
Idea. Yeah.
So I would not be so ahead of the curve hungry sometimes. Like I need to be advanced on my ads. I need to go into a platform and see what Hexclad is running, because like
You've got to put out
go
volume.
backwards on this stuff too.
You've got to put out volume. And so, you've got to do some of that. You know what I mean? Like I think that I wasn't trying to be like, oh, creative strategist, man.
No, but this is good for like, these are great pockets to pull inspiration from.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the question was, how do you find winning ad angles? So I think we covered it pretty well. Yeah. There's a lot of email providers. I think in the D2C space, we definitely have a preference of email provider. You are against the grain, man. Choosing Attentive for your email. Why are you choosing Attentive for your email?
Yeah, I've always used different platforms. Years past, I've been in D2C for 12, 15 years. I've used other platforms. And then when SMS marketing got a little more popular or started bubbling up, Attentive was kind of there a little earlier than most people on the SMS side. And then I was using other platforms for email, but Attentive was always really, really good at SMS, as far as deliverability, building out segments, being great overall at getting your message across and sending great campaigns. So once they introduced email, I was a little bit hesitant because I was like, oh, this is just my SMS platform. Like, they can't be good at two things. And so it was kind of a simple assumption there.
One tool for one job.
Yeah. So I started slowly exploring with it while having another platform. And I just loved the way it was so easy and fast to actually design out the emails and test deliverability. Deliverability was great. And it helped to kind of like bundle and save and have both of your channels in the same place. So now when I hop on and I, design a campaign out for the day, I could just do it all in one spot without having to like log into a different platform and open all over the place.
I've been an agency media buyer for the past 3 years. How would you suggest I level up?
You don't.
Within the agency?
Just stay there. Just stay there forever.
Yeah. Like what frame it. Can you frame it?
Go start a brand?
Frame it.
Are you good at
well,
this?
He's asking how to level up. So he's either asking, how do I get better at this media buying thing? Or he's asking, what's like the next phase of my growth in my career?
Dude, okay.
Or she. I don't know any information about this one.
This, so I actually it reminds me a little bit about David. Remember David?
Yeah, I remember David. Yeah.
So David.
Are you going to, don't talk.
No. It's like, this is so I feel like I'd be giving.
I love David, man.
Yes, as do I. We did an incredible thing.
I will not stand for any David hate.
The protein bars?
The person. The protein bars
I'll not stand for any David hate here.
So, no, we got these conversations. Like, there's some people that are really, really good individual contributors, and they are just, you give it to them like, dude, you got this. You have every element. He managed every single thing about the media buying thing before media buyers had to be everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Back when they were like, you're just good at these channels. He was like good at all the things involving the channel deployment. Mm-hmm. If you are a media buyer, your ability to understand forecasting, projections, and product rotation, and like the orchestration of what's being tested, how it's being tested, and then like the margins that you need to be maintaining and growing at, dude, that is so valuable to any single company, any single business. Mm-hmm. And it's not just media buying. You also need to know the creative strategy and the deployment of this creative strategy. At any sort of volume, you are solely relied upon, for most brands in this like growing stage, especially at the agency, unless you have some incredible whales, you are the lifeline of like new revenue, new blood, and like your ass is usually on the line. So more integrated into the projections, forecasting, testing, specifically in the media buying stage. Then creative is a given. You have to know creative. Yeah. But I would be so comfortable in building up my resources or having a couple people that you trust to do more things so you can be more involved in the business.
The fact that the person's asking this question is kind of concerning to me.
3 years too.
Because it should be obvious. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, there's like, to me, some stuff that when you're a media buyer, you keep running into a wall on X because that's like outside of scope or that's outside. Like, so for me, it's like the more I had this media buying agency, the more I had to help brands learn to figure out exactly how much we should be spending to acquire a customer. Like, yeah. So it just like naturally brought me into this more of like a just growth marketer role, right? And which is more toward like leading marketing teams, VP of growth, like, or the more you'll realize like brands know nothing about creative. So I have to go like literally get good at creative strategy and get good at creative. And so to me, when they're like, oh, how do I level up? I'm a media buyer at an agency. And I'm like, if the path doesn't seem obvious, that's concerning to me. Either you're at an agency that just runs so smooth and has the best clients ever, or you're not observing. Like, have you not observed okay, I guess my advice is look at where you run into walls and like hit resistance. And those are the skills you need to get better at. Usually it's something along the lines of creative or something along the lines of like being better at growth, knowing the numbers, et cetera.
I've worked around media buyers at an agency that just kind of exist. They're there. They're not doing anything wrong. They're not going above and beyond either. And their accounts are fine.
Yeah.
They exist. They're kind of the person that's just doing things, right? Then I think they might maybe fall into that pocket where like they're not making creative suggestions or out of the box suggestions or even like landing page. They're just there existing media buying and they're not stepping up to like give a little more high level strategy.
Yeah.
So I think maybe try and find where you can add more value, or the leveling up thing is like within the agency or within your own personal like career. Like, do you want to, are you good at this shit? So can you go be a freelance media buyer and stack your own book? Like, it's kind of like, which way does he want to go?
Or is it, is there not a clear growth path in your agency? What's that?
Yeah. Do you want to stay at the agency?
Do you know what I wonder if this is? When you and I got started in the agency game, this whole e-com thing was like a very immature industry, right? And so I think of it like early tech. If you were in tech in the 90s and 2000s, like you were like, dude, I'm on the internet and no one else is on the internet. You know what I mean? And so I think of it like that, where that's how e-com was when we started, where even brands that were like killing it, doing really well, just didn't realize what they didn't know. And then we'd buy the media and we'd be like, oh, you guys don't know your numbers. Let me figure out how to help you figure out your numbers, even though they're a brand that's crushing it. And so it's like, we basically had to like learn these skill sets. Whereas a thing that I've noticed in the e-com industry is like, now you go to some e-com events and it's like, oh, you're just a person who like went to college and then got a job out of like, you're kind of like just a normal career person.
Yeah.
You make $50,000, $60,000 a year working for some e-com SaaS company or like a Shopify app or like a brand. And so that could be where this person is, where they're just like, I don't know, I'm just like, I got a job. How do I advance in my job? In which case I would say, does the agency not have an advancement path? Or if you're asking, how do I skill up? You probably need to take on some harder projects, right?
For sure.
So do some freelancing for like an earlier stage brand than what you're getting at the agency, so that you can be like, oh, okay, like I see all of the media buying adjacent things that I have to get good at to like be a little more full stack.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that even if I look at some of the founders that are like purposely not trying to build teams, or they're trying to stay lean, right? If I were to see you guys, it's like they know product development. They know like the roadmap of like creating a secondary supportive product. They might not know how to find it, but they know like, oh, I know I need to sell something else. Probably really good at launches. They're probably good at list building. They're probably good at enough things. And if you look at your skill set, you're like, I'm really good at checklist, media buying, creative. I'm not the best at financial operations or understanding. I'm not the best at page or CRO.
I don't manage people.
Like I don't have a team underneath me. I'm not good at doing briefing of creative or getting that into the system creatively.
I'm not good at client management, client communications. Yeah.
Because if you are good at all those things of growth, like you can have a book of biz and level. Are you leveling up? Because there's actually different versions of leveling up. Are you leveling up and getting deeper into media buying? Now you're going to be a channel wizard, and I'm better at AppLovin and I'm better at Meta. Or I'm like, no, I'm really good at this thing, but I need to add other like business building skills around me. So it's choose your path. Because some guys, like Brandon Fink is a perfect example of this. He's like, I am going to be an incredible media buyer. And then at one point woke up and he was like, I am an incredible media buyer. I also want to build businesses.
Yeah.
So then he like shifted into a completely different section, but his core competence is like, we know traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people just started off of like, I'm going to be an incredible media buyer. Because it was like, this is
Jordan as well. Your friend Jordan as well. It's like, I want to be the best in the world, this and that. It's like, well, how do you even be the best in the world at this? There's no rankings. Like we don't have a media buyer rankings. You know?
Your average ROAS, put up stats.
Scoreboard, baby.
Scoreboard.
That's a good question though.
Yeah. No. It's good. All right, cool. Next up, my clothing brand has grown to close to 10 million in the past 2 years.
Wow.
Sick.
But the more I scale, the less I think Meta is working. It seems like it might just be hitting our past customers over and over.
Well, ask Sidekick.
Yeah. First off, find out.
I'm just always going to start with like the simple shit, and then we can dive deeper. But
Ask Sidekick like Shopify Sidekick.
Yeah. Like what we did before
And
the call.
what would you ask it? Like literally, like what would you
wasn't
put in
it
there?
repeat customers?
They said the less I think Meta's working, it seems like it might be hitting our past customers. What would you ask Shopify Sidekick?
Returning customer rate.
Yeah. What's my returning customer rate today? Or like, give me like month over month.
So let's assume the reason that they think that Meta just might be circling the wagons on past customers is because
New customer
more
growth
and
is-
more
And you
revenue.
can ask LTV now too.
Well, you can. I mean,
let's assume it's like more and more revenue seems to be coming from my past customers and
Yeah.
like less and less from my new customers.
I mean, that's how it is, though. Like
I
that's
assume.
Yeah.
literally.
You're building a loyal brand, it sounds like.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad thing. Like if you were to check his, like I'd guarantee you, he doesn't have higher new customer revenue than returning customer revenue on a monthly
he does.
basis.
We're like at 28%.
28% returning.
Yeah.
28% return only.
Yeah.
So like we're like 40.
That's what I'm.
to 60% returning revenue.
Yeah, but you're further along than him, I think.
You're also
True, and we're also
subscription.
subscription. But no,
Yeah.
even if it's like repeat
and
purchase rate,
I bet he acquires way more efficiently. You know what I mean? So he can like grow faster. This is so when returning customer starts catching and passing new customer, it's like, oh, you just can't outgrow your returning customers. And it does get harder and harder for sure. You're further along, it gets harder and harder to outgrow your returning customers.
correct.
But
Unless
he's
you're-
at 10 million.
shouldn't he's not outgrown it.
He shouldn't be feeling that yet, is
No.
what I'm saying. Like,
I fully agree on that.
so if it returning customer like yours is at 28%, you're maybe a little further along than this guy, you know. So if his is like 50-50 and it's like, oh, it's really been taking up more and more revenue. I guess that's what I'm assuming he's feeling, is if that makes
Okay.
sense. I'm projecting a lot on that. We don't know the details, so I'll act as proxy as him and I'll say, oh yeah, it's like returning customer revenue is like 50%, and it was
Probably
like a
a
year
drop
ago it
model
was like
brand, too.
25%.
Could be. I was gonna say like if on apparel, because I think back to like Posh, right?
I bet he does a lot of drops.
So Posh is like they returning. The
Or
goal is
she.
like we always are trying to outperform.
Can you tell us the brand off
Do
the
you know?
record?
I don't know it.
Okay.
So it's like we started seeing the repeat rate was huge, and the email list. The more we hit the email, the more we hit SMS, the more we hit our channels. It was primarily repeat, but it's because the way that this brand was built was like almost cult like, where they're just going to continue to buy over and over, no matter how many drops she had.
But actually, I'm glad you're bringing that up, because I would say Posh had this exact problem. Like they did not acquire super efficiently from Meta ads anymore, but that was really covered up by the fact that they did so well with returning customer revenue.
Incredible.
So their Meta ads, their ad account, everything looked good. The ROAS was incredible. You know what I mean? But if you actually broke it down to like how
New
efficiently
customer.
are we acquiring new customers, it was not very efficient.
Correct, but even now, you look back, that was the right thing. That's the business.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I know you can say like, yeah, we need to continue to acquire new customers. Well, guess what? You're gonna be searching on new channels.
Well, what's
You're gonna. I would even say the product makeup of how much revenue is coming from your like existing quote unquote evergreen. Like you probably should focus on how many different types of products you can get running.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're just acquiring everybody through shirts, you're like, well, that customer is different than a customer acquired through shorts or pants.
yeah.
So maybe the makeup of what's in the account has to rotate.
What were you gonna
You
say?
guys know the delusional vision that some founders have that like eventually we'll stop running ads and only send emails and texts because we have enough customers.
God
It's
bless.
delusional, but
Yeah.
God
it
bless.
exists. But that guy's like somewhat at a good point where like if he's doing a drop model. So if we do drops, let me rephrase what I
Okay.
said earlier. If we do drops, it's closer to like 48% because our loyal dad gang supporters are coming back and buying the new thing that just came out to add to their collection.
Yes.
And the evergreen stuff is where we get our new customer rate
So
from.
blended all in a month is what?
Closer to like in the 30s.
Okay.
But still it's like 10 million 2 years. Great job. That's solid. And then at the same time, what's he doing like within the account? Like yesterday we even chatted like small tweaks like attribution settings.
Yep.
Like so what's he doing within the account to make sure that he's
Yeah.
getting more new people? And then what is the like
Yeah.
sometimes what is the clothing? If you're selling like baggy hoodies and you have one demo that wants them, like what other product are you
Yeah.
introducing to
Yeah.
pull in a new audience?
Also, I'm really assuming this is.
Yeah.
I assume no girls listen to us when Zoe's not on.
Well,
so-
baggy hoodies goes across both right
yeah,
now.
I know. Like every question that I don't know who it is, I'm always like he. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's
yeah,
about
it could be one of our 4 female listeners.
You don't think about women. So
Product offering does help bring in new customers. Like when we launch, this is like our standard 5-panel hat that we've had forever.
Yeah.
But when we launched running hats, we got more athletes.
yeah.
And when we launch a pink hat, we get like a bit more of like louder color fashion sense
But
customers.
it's still a dad gang hat, so it's like it's still a dad, but a dad who likes this, a dad who likes it. So there's got to be a common thread there.
I mean, we stay within the ad comments too, just to give feedback, and like we'll see things that are like, oh man, I love this, but I can't wait until you come out with a running hat, or like, oh, I love the hats, but you need XL sizing. Like then we added XL sizing, but like listening to his existing community for what other people might want too is a big thing. Yeah, and then like your existing customers will also tell you like, hey man, I think you need to start making X. And then that might attract a whole new crowd. So I'm not a big fan of adding a ton of more SKUs, but sometimes when you introduce just one more product in apparel specifically, you will pull in another crowd.
Yeah. I think so too. I'll give some really simple tactical things. It's not hard to you said like find out if that's the case. I'll just give the how on how I would find out whether Meta is circling the wagons on past customers or new ones. Number one red flag, if you don't have any attribution tools or anything like that, just go in and look at how much of your revenue comes from view through conversions versus click through conversions. So if you're using that 7-day click, 1-day view, you can break down like, oh, how many of these conversions were view through and click through. And if it's a really like high amount, I would say more than 10 or 20% view through, then you're right. Then your instinct is right. It is probably just showing ads to your past customers every single day because they repeat purchase because they're,
well, and just frequencies too.
Yep. And so that's like the first thing I would look at. And then if that were the case, then I'd probably, if you don't already have one, get an attribution tool. Of course, I prefer Triple Whale, but any of them will do this. And you can go look at your purchases from Meta in there, what percentage of them are new customers.
Yeah.
If you're correct about all this and your new customer purchase percentage is low, and I would count low anything under 70% for an apparel brand doing 10 million, 75%, then click only attribution is the easiest, simplest solution. You could also try, they have a new feature on Meta called incremental attribution, I think is what it's called.
Yep.
But where it's supposed to go get you incremental revenue or whatever, but it's untested.
To be determined.
Yeah, but click only attribution is going to be the easiest like quick fix that I've seen work a bunch of times.
What's he doing for a referral too?
For a referral?
Yeah, like we use Social Snowball to plug into our
flows.
We get our
and
customers
how do you get people to do it? Yeah,
yeah. Well, I mean, our offer is great. You share your link and you make 10% of the revenue on any hat sold. So if you really get after it, $3.50 every time somebody buys off your links, not bad.
No,
that's
a coffee a day,
10 of Zen, or some gas if you want to stack it up.
Might be a whole lot.
It's whatever your preferred stimulant is per day.
Caffeine, Zen.
No, but seriously, have some sort of plugin that incentivizes your customers to go create more customers.
Yeah,
the loyalty programs, a lot of these things,
especially around apparel.
Yeah,
it's cold like
you reach 10 hats, you get like there's just. Yeah, you need to create loyalty around this stuff.
If you've gotten to 10 million in the past 2 years and it's primarily via Meta ads, you do have the capability of acquiring new customers somewhat efficiently on Meta. And you might be right that Meta's just not doing that for you anymore. So you might have to just kind of do some stuff in the ad account. And then if that doesn't work and it's like, oh, when I try and push it into new customers, it's super inefficient. Then I think you're right. It's like, you got to maybe release some different product lines and stuff like that. And obviously, referral systems and things, but you might have like reached the edge of where you can really acquire efficiently with your type of clothing. Like you said, if it's baggy hoodies, then the TAM is limited. If it's something really trendy, the trend might be going down. You know what I mean?
Seasons, a lot of stuff happening there.
Yeah. So like if you were like baggy jeans, Jean Code jeans, there was a time where they crushed it.
Yeah, they're back.
And then they went away. Now they're back a little bit. They'll go when fashion goes from skinny to baggy, baggy to skinny. That's basically all fashion does all the time.
Every 5 years or so.
Yeah. I don't know. Hopefully that was a good, helpful answer.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, cool. I'd love to hear some creative ideas for women's jewelry brand priced $500 to $2,000.
Oof.
Oh man, jewelry's been
Jewelry's the hardest niche for me.
Jewelry's so difficult for me as well. We've done
great.
We've done
I'm
low.
glad we're here answering then.
Well, Jake, close friend, had a higher end jewelry
That's
brand
true,
for
yeah.
a very long time. So David Vaughn's existed for quite a long time.
His is custom though, right?
It is custom, but there are staples. Like you can't go full custom because it's on demand and doesn't scale, and you can't run too many ads against it. So there are like the letters and the shapes that are always going to be a staple around this, especially quality of diamond, quantity of diamond. This is affluence. You sell affluence right now in this season.
Hard.
Very difficult to sell affluence.
Jewelry's being squeezed too because of like if you use gold, price of gold has gone through the roof.
All of it.
4,000.
Price of I know. Yeah, you holding some gold over there?
Better than Bitcoin.
You got gold bars buried in the backyard?
No comment.
No, do not know.
I'm debanked. That's all I'll say.
Too close. Too soon. I don't know, man. The creative is I'll go tactical on this one.
Yeah.
I think this is a very
because I think we're just sitting here like hard. It's hard.
Yeah. First off, recognize it is hard.
It is difficult.
Easy on this is AI is pretty good at getting jewelry on necks and rings on fingers.
Oh, that's super easy.
And earrings in ears.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty easy to get that. You can go color of skin. You can go size of wrist. I remember a huge unlock that we had. Now it's a different price point. It was like we did like thickness of wrist for some brands. We knew that accessorizing was not always the people that wanted to buy clothes, but they wanted to buy accessories.
Yeah.
And that was a sizing play and difference there. Now that was a very specific product and price point. The higher end it is, you can't downplay the luxury of this. Like that's not an easy purchase or decision. And it's usually around major moments or incentives. So we stay in anniversaries, stay in birthday, stay in Christmas, stay in Mother's Day, stay in Father's Day. And you are a peak style brand. You are peaks and troughs all the way through.
Yeah. Bart, I'm curious if you have any, because they asked for creative ideas, which I agree. Like just those are good creative variations and stuff like that. Where my brain is going is like, this is super hard. And it's hard to 500 to 2,000 is right in that price point where it's like not crazy expensive, but like
it's still money.
People don't just make that purchase decision on a whim usually that unless they're affluent, but it is accessible for a lot of people. Right. So it's that sort of accessible luxury. To me, I think my brain goes straight to how do we just open up the top of the funnel really, really wide? So make great content that gets a lot of organic views. And then also as ads gets low CPMs, a lot of people into the funnel. Thoughts there. I have one idea that I don't know if it would work or not, but you know how like people make like marketing content that's green screen content? Mm-hmm. Like, oh, here's this, here, like they do like breakdowns of like, here's what this brand did or whatever. I think you could do the same thing, but for like red carpet events, and you could do accessories. And especially if you could use AI and you just made it clear in the content you're using AI, like, oh, here's, I don't know, here's Sydney Sweeney's outfit to the Oscars.
In my piece.
Yeah, here's Sydney Sweeney's outfit to the Oscars. Here's how I would have accessorized this, right? So she's wearing this, that's blah, 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 blah. Like I would have accessorized with something like that. Here it is with AI. And just like, you know, like level her up a little bit. And I just think that gets a ton of like,
it's cultural.
To me, it's like Amalfi Jets. Have you seen the Amalfi Jets?
Yeah, they make a whole sitcom around it.
Tons of eyeballs of people who cannot afford to fly private, but tons of eyeballs means some of those people can't afford to fly private. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think it's the same thing. It's like if you're selling this semi-accessible luxury, you just open up the top of the funnel really wide, maybe is probably my best idea.
And you can do almost every red event, or you can do movie premiere. You can cut that and chop that however you want.
Yeah. If I were to make a custom piece for blank, you know, so you can do a few different series there too.
Yeah. By the way, if you want to make yours, like link in bio. I like that.
Yeah. Just consult legal on that one, I would say. If you're going to use like celebrity names
if it's a bold call out, no, I don't think it's celebrity using the names. I think it's more.
We've covered this before.
I also think this is an organic thing too.
Okay, cool.
Not a lawyer, but we called an actual lawyer on a show before on last season. Oh,
that's true.
Last season when I was like, oh, hey, I have a content series idea for you, Bart. Day one of trying to make a hat for LeBron James.
Yeah.
And you were like, I couldn't use that as an ad. We called Jackie, Zoe's lawyer, and she said, yeah, as long as it's like clear that it's like parody kind of, you know, it sort of falls under parody law.
I might want to consult one more lawyer on that one.
Yeah. Look, you can find, sure.
No, but I would
We're
say,
not lawyers. Yeah.
I would say when it like common sense jewelry buying, when you are looking at anything you're picking up from a jewelry store, I bought some like faux jewelry when I was on my run, just like a guy had a little pop up. Yeah, I thought there was a cool.
You bought some street jewelry?
Yeah.
You're wild.
I thought it was a cool little like fun ring for my wife to buy.
Tomorrow, his wife's ring or finger is going to be like all green.
Yeah, it could be, but it'll look sick for like 2 days. But
I'm dying, dude.
But no, you're asking about like quality.
Hey, babe,
you're asking about quality at that price.
Yeah.
Like, will the gold tarnish my neck or will it
no, man, it's all good.
You're good.
Mine will for sure.
Yeah.
But like, I'm thinking like micro lens, like close up content, or whether it's like shine or the gold makeup or just the makeup of whatever pieces they're selling. And then you could throw in like green screen talking head over why this piece is expensive. Because I think the one thing is that like advertising expensive jewelry on Facebook, like the aura around that kind of cheapens the jewelry
just by the fact that
because you're competing with like Ben Bridge and Tiffany's and like truly legacy expensive brands that usually don't do that stuff too much, or you don't see it where there's like a hook and here's some expensive jewelry, like a little like Facebook alone cheapens the brand a little bit, I would say, because the journey is like, oh, where'd you get that beautiful $2,000 bracelet? Oh, Facebook ad. Like that just doesn't sound too great.
I mean, I also get hit with Maserati and Rolls Royce and Range Rover and
ads on Facebook.
Oh yeah. And on Instagram. I think on Instagram, it is a visual playground that this is not as weird, but I think you're totally right. If the targeting and the audience is correct, on Meta is still rough. Like I don't think anyone's converting off of this. Yeah. But I do think, dude, you're generating a shit ton of interest. I think you just go content series. The one I felt like I'm not an accessory kind of guy, but I watch this guy. He's like, hey, how fast can I flip this Rolex? And it's like, you watch him open a store and then he's on the street trying to sell it.
Was that Mazel guy?
It is a guy. Yeah. It is down LA or New York.
New York. Yeah.
I'm not trying to buy a watch, but that content series is an investment as he goes dealer to dealer to dealer. I think you go big top of funnel.
Yeah, big top of funnel. You could do, I mean, I think there's a jewelry brand, if I'm not mistaken, that has like a content series they do something with street interviews.
Okay.
And like, I think it's like, can you tell the difference? It's like, can you sniff out the fake type of street interviews? So I think that, actually don't know if that's the street interview or if I just made that up. So maybe that's just a content I did. I came up with another ad idea for you. Yeah. Or content idea for you. There's a guy, I had him on my podcast like more than a year ago. He has a brand called Articles of Style. So he was like a stylist. Yeah. And now he makes like TikToks just about men's style and capsule wardrobes, if you know what that is. Yeah. So, and he's made TikToks about like fast fashion and the problem with it and like what, you know.
Oh, there's that one dude that has like millions of followers.
There's a guy on Twitter. Yeah.
But he's like, his biggest video was like, style some outfits around Times New Roman, like around the font.
Yeah, I think you could do the same thing.
What's his name? But he like nailed it, and it was like 100 million views. And so it's like you could do just series around that. So just get a bit more creative around like, back to our previous question is like crazy ideas mixed with maybe some old school commercials and like quality in the mix of that.
The thing is, we're not coming up with novel formats here. I said green screen. We said street interview. We said like challenge content. It's like, no, these have been formats for street interviews have been going on since before the internet. Yeah. So I mean, talk shows, podcasts have been going on since before the internet. Green screen content, people have been doing the weather a long time. You know what I mean? Like these are the formats are not novel. It's just look at it and say, oh, how could I do that for this brand?
In a quality way too.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like you're priced in a way that you want it to be classy for sure. So yeah, I mean,
make a $35 hat. I don't need a DSLR to shoot our stuff.
Yeah.
But I think the content should meet the price point on some of this.
I agree.
Yep. All right. Next, I think we give him some ideas.
Yeah, I don't want to
Give
feel
him some
hopeless
ideas.
because we started it off with like
Jewelry is hard.
Look.
Yeah, I do want to acknowledge jewelry is hard. It's the niche that I think that I'm least good at. You know what I mean?
and then get
I
some
think
if
a
you can
price
afford to
point.
get some high end influencers too.
I think the sweet spot of
yeah, that's probably yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah, send some pieces.
And live
Send some
shopping
pieces.
on TikTok. We didn't mention that, but that's huge for jewelry.
500 to 2,000. I wonder though. I mean, yeah, that's probably their hesitant.
A
Is
lot
that
of
it's
moms scrolling TikTok.
high price point?
Yeah, I
is
wonder if you
probably
got to get into
hesitancy.
like a lower earring set or like a tennis bracelet that's in like the 250, 300 range. I don't know.
Do you know who actually? Oof, this is a form function change, and I don't know if you could do it with jewelry. But do you remember who was the scent brand that we worked with that did designer scents in small sizes?
Oh, yeah. The founder is Cameron.
Yeah. So that crushed because it was like
Micro perfumes.
So they like got licenses to sell the designer scents, and they like, I don't know how they did this. Like, this is what I picture in my head is that they bought all of the scents, dumped them into a big bucket, and then put them into small
Just
bottles.
filled them over and over again.
Like, they had some process by which
Is it like sample size ones?
yeah,
And they sold samples?
they
still
sold.
do.
Yep.
They sell
No
in packs.
way.
They're incredible.
So they were
company.
selling
Wow.
Gio Armani, which is a whatever, several $100 scent for like very cheap. And so the ad angles
But you
on
can
it,
buy the whole thing.
yeah, the ad angles on it were very easy. It's just
okay.
like, Gio Armani for only $50. You know what I mean? And so it's like, could you change the form function a little bit to say like, diamond tennis bracelet for only this?
Buy now, pay later.
Yeah.
Yeah, just install Klarna. You'll be good.
Yeah.
Oh man, financing a tennis bracelet.
Okay. Hey, do you have a small wrist?
See, people
'Cause we can
finance-
charge you less then.
Seen people finance t-shirts.
Yeah.
I've seen some shit.
I have a travel laptop backpack that does really well on Google Ads.
I'll
and
buy it.
Amazon.
Yeah,
Yeah, Nick will
here
buy
comes
it.
number 13.
It does well on Google Ads and Amazon, where people are already shopping. But we haven't really cracked Meta. What would be a good offer and creative strategy? That's the right
Answer.
Question.
That's right question.
Yeah. He's like, okay, when I go into a marketplace and compete with this thing, it works.
He almost answered it with the question.
I think he's asking for ideas for offering creative strategy for more of a demand generation platform. This is another really hard one. Like
I love this niche. I spend a lot of time in this.
What do
niche.
you think is a good offer strategy here then?
This is packing cubes. This is cord collectors. This is bottle. This is fan. Like this is the coolest place to play in because when I'm buying a backpack, I'm so, and like I care a lot about this space because I like form, function, and style across the three. And so different times, different places, different backpacks, different needs. And so when I'm thinking about a travel backpack, I'm usually trying to be like, I'm only want to have this one backpack and one carry-on if it's going to be for travel or if it's a short or long. We have multiple use cases.
Mm-hmm.
This one, you have the ability to showcase how the things stack into it. And I think there's a couple, I won't drop the brands on this one, but if you buy the backpack, you're going to get the shoe bag. You're going to get the koozie, the bottle, the thing. And that so many of these are cost effective.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a buy this, get that phrase. Do not get off of that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you think that's the offer. Buy this, get that. But they have to. So I do think they have to go together.
So Ridge is scaling right now across like they're expanding into luggage and movement. I hate to use them as an example, but I just literally bought this and went through this experience.
Yeah,
I bought the backpack, and then I was like, oh, I want the carry-on. Carry-on and backpack together was a better deal than not. And then I bought the large carry-on and backpack all together because it was the most amount of savings possible.
Yeah,
and it made sense for my buying cycle.
Asterisks on using Ridge if you're any kind of brand is that they're huge, right?
Okay, I'll go Tropic Feel.
Okay,
That's
I don't know
exactly,
who that is. So
exactly.
perfect, yeah.
Tropic Feel. You can go nomadic. You can go Tom Talk. Like I'll go all the way down with the backpacks.
Yeah.
They sell you on, and it depends. Like if you're travel, I think travel can be split into a couple of different niches. Travel camera, travel businessman. Like there's different needs and buckets, and if you're able to craft the offer as well as the entry point, it kind of leads to the next secondary and tertiary product you're going to be purchasing. So I do think it is a buy this, get that sort of offer.
Yeah, I think so too. But you got to get it right. So I talked to a brand doing this the other day, like, oh, we're trying to do bundles and stuff like that. And they're like, yeah, so like if you buy the large one, you can get the small one for free. I'm like, but I don't need both of the same. I need a large carry-on or I need a small carry-on.
Correct.
I don't need two carry-ons. So like you said, it's like got to be the right combination, but that's very testable. You know what I mean?
The
Like
easiest thing. I think
yeah,
the
they're
easiest
very
thing.
testable on so all of your ads can be around like here's how we pack the backpack type of ads.
Yep.
That's the easiest thing to do, right? Show how much can go in there. Just put it all on the bed and then put it like nice and neat into the, and then on landing page side, so you're keeping all the ads consistent. On landing page side, you're split testing your traffic between backpack and shoe bag, backpack and hat bag, backpack and camera bag. And those like second items
Yes.
are for free.
Yes.
I love that
Mhm.
tactically. Only other thing you could do is a form function shift. So this doesn't work anymore for wallets. Don't do it. But when wallets first came out that did that, that was a big,
Whoa.
yeah. And so that works on Meta. It's just like, boom, here's a wallet. It does a new thing. Go straight to Bridge when it was the first thin wallet. So if you got a form function shift around backpacks, which is hard because everybody's trying to do that. But if you have one, just advertise that. Easy.
There's so much creative you can make around backpacks too.
Dude, it's a lifestyle. It's like there's
I
so
have
much
a- yeah.
content.
I have an
Yeah.
idea for a backpack brand. I don't know if it'll do well, but it's just an outside the box idea.
I would do so much of what you guys have already said. I would do like really silent ASMR around laptops, like sliding into your pouch
Ooh,
and like
zipper and
and then
everything?
zipper and the clasps and the closings and like
down.
just
down.
show like the
Yeah.
smoothness of, because here's the other thing when you're packing your backpack for a trip, and like I like my Herschel because you can like slide in from the top or zip in on the side and slide it in that way, and then like everything else can just dump in there. It's just
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
convenience of your pack, right?
Yeah.
Instead of like, I don't know, some backpacks don't pack that well. So if theirs does, then like really emphasize not only how much it can carry, but how easy it is to fill up in different pouches, how light it is on your back. Some people look goofy with backpacks, like how it sits on the back. Like there's so many different angles that you can emphasize, but I do like
That's nice.
the silent ASMR and like cutting like, shoo, shoo, you know, just
Yeah,
like
yeah,
doing
yeah.
that around bag, that kind of stuff.
A
think
form
so.
function change that would cover both. And so this would, if they're just using a manufacturer, they're not going to be able to do this. But if you are able to like kind of product develop a little bit, a form function shift that you could try that would do both. Like, oh, you could do this this would help your offer, and this would help your form function shift. Is like, you know how backpacks have like some of them will have like a shoe compartment that'll keep your shoes separate because your shoes stink. You don't want your shoes in there with your other stuff, right? So they'll have like a shoe compartment. Could you make that an attachable? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can. Tropical does this.
Okay, so there is already a manufacturing thing for that, but like maybe that's not, maybe people already know about that form function shift, but what else could you make an attachable? Could you make a hat compartment an attachable? Could you make could you take some of that stuff that's like, oh, this backpack is good for this person who likes to pack hats or pack shoes or whatever? Could you make those things an attachable? Yeah.
Think Wolfpack, right? The workout food. This
Licensing
is made,
in general is another way you could go. Yeah.
Well, no, not even that. Like this is for the gym, for my food, for my workouts, and it sits this way in my backpack.
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah.
that is
Form function.
They build just for that.
Yeah, form function shift is you could make it attachable, but even if you can't, you know, that like I think you can do the offer of like this plus the thing, this plus, you know what I mean? Like you're
I think
saying.
you gotta do it.
Yeah. I have one idea for a backpack brand that I think could be maybe an organic content series. I don't know if it would crush it on paid.
Okay.
But it is it's sort of a man on the street gamified concept where it's like, guess what's in, like that you have 3 bags and it's like it's kind of like a deal or no deal type of thing.
Okay.
Some variation of like a deal or no deal game. Or a game where it's like I have a bunch of compartments in a backpack and I have like a line of people, like 5 people, and I say, all right, like the first thing you find is yours, and they could go in there and they could find like a toothbrush. Okay, I got a toothbrush, and then the next person comes in and they find like $500 tucked away in some compartment.
Sick.
Or like the next person comes in, right? And so it's like it shows where all of the different like
Pockets
parts
and
and
compartments.
pockets and things you can put and how you can organize. But then it also like gamify, and then maybe there's some gamify where like somebody can steal. I don't know. You can add wrinkles to the game. You can make up the game.
Sure.
But that's the idea I have is like that. And then one more I have, and this was an idea I came up for Wolfpack that is just fun, is people have to like, you'd have to get permission to make them fight, but people have to fight with whatever's in the backpack. That's the
Wait,
weapons they
what?
get.
That fits for that brand.
Oh, like there's weapons in the bag?
There's, well, maybe not real ones, but there's like a beach like a water noodle or something like
Someone's
that.
got squirt
and-
guns
and a
instead
Nerf
of that
gun or
or
something.
There's a
Yeah.
Nerf gun. Yeah. And they have to do like fights with those.
I can see it. Okay.
Yeah. And that's like your more funny version of it. You know, so the couple like man on the street gamified things that like feature the bags as part of the game.
I like
Yeah.
you know, like Red Bull style POV mountain biking videos
Yeah. For
or like snowboarding where it's like
Yeah.
from the helmet. But like if you got people to do some sort of like extreme activity, whether it's like a downhill run or a mountain bike, but you'd have to get the camera to like just stay on the bag and show like
doable.
stability and packing. So like have them pack a ton of stuff into it.
Yeah, put like rocks in there even. Yeah.
Whatever, like whatever your company's known for, and then have them do something extreme and like show that it stays on the back and all this.
Yeah, that it's not like moving around. I like that.
Depends on the demo. Like if they're selling backpacks to like
sure, if it's more
finance
of an urban
bros on Wall Street, then not really.
Yeah, it's just like all
I
the drugs. They make sure their pills don't fall out of anything.
That would be funny. You had a great parody would be adding like
your Vyvanse container.
It's just all Red Bulls and shit.
Yeah, we got a little
Ketones.
we got a little cold section for your Red Bulls. Yeah. What have you found works well for app notification titles?
So we're trying to build a culture on our app of like this emoji means a certain thing. So if you see a launch rocket on an app notification from Dad Gang, it means a new product just launched. Another one is like the mind-blowing emoji is just a crazy deal. So we try to do that. Same with like money bags for savings, those kind of things.
Yeah.
But then just being as direct as possible within those first like 5 words. Like today, $20 hat. Like we can't believe this hat is $20.
Yeah.
Mind-blowing emoji. And then explain what's going on. And then the graphic attached to it has like a bunch of $20 bills in that hat that's being sold.
I like that you're doing that because the people who download the Dad Gang app are probably representative of your most loyal customers. And so basically for your like highest tier of loyalty, or like the people who kind of like love Dad Gang the most, you're creating these like this kind of conditioning. I don't know, conditioning is maybe not the right culture. You said this culture of like, when you see this, it means this, right? So it's like, oh, when I hear from Dad Gang and I see that emoji, I know what it means.
Yeah.
I think that's like a very, like, it's powerful. We've been talking a lot about how to drive revenue through your app this season. You use Fuego for the Dad Gang app. We highly recommend Fuego amongst all of the e-commerce D2C company app builders. So go check out Fuego. That's going to be linked up in the description of the show and all that good stuff. All right, back to the show. How much does my campaign structure matter? And if it does matter, so for meta ads, forgot we were talking about meta ads. How much does my campaign structure matter? And if it does matter, what should it be? Some people say a little, some people say a lot. How do I get a definitive answer on this?
Oh, it's a terrible question.
Brand dependent, right?
Yeah, that's the wrong question. I think that question should be, my product is, I have one product to sell. What's the best way to approach it? I have multi products to sell. What's the best way? I have one bestseller and I have one that doesn't sell. Like the vagueness of this question is so difficult to answer because, as we talked about, I think the first question that was asked, was, is it a folder system? Is it like offer based? Is it you have one thing you're pushing? Is everything working? Is it not working? So go. I think you just sum it up with like, choose your path, which is how are you going to do your test? Stay there.
Yeah. And I mean, refer to everything we said at the beginning to the first question, I think. The only other thing I would add is like, I always try and I have a mindset with accounts. And the mindset is 80% of my decision-making should be done ahead of time. That way I'm making the 20% of decisions that could be the most impactful. Meaning I have a campaign structure whereby I know exactly how I keep, cut, and scale something, exactly how I put a new test in. And I kind of do it that way every single time. And it's only sometimes where it's like, my system says I should cut this, but I have an instinct because of this metric or that metric or whatever that I actually want to keep this, right? So 20% of the time you're making that decision of like, oh, I'm going to go against the system. But all I want is a decision-making system where you can say, you need to break it down to like, if things aren't working for you, you're not switching up your campaign structure and doing all this crap. You're saying, oh, you need a system where you can say, how do I just work the system till the system works? You know what I mean? So I put new creative into it and I keep working this system till the system works. And eventually this system will work because that's just how it worked. Like that's how it is designed. It's designed to eventually work, So that, I mean, that wasn't like a really good tactical answer, but like,
well, the question was not a good one either.
If I'm getting tactical, the way that I usually do this is I usually say like, okay, you've decided how you're going to do creative testing. And then I use like a 3-strike system on creative testing. It's got to get to a certain level of sales by a certain level of spend and another level of sales by another level of spend. And then it gets 3 strikes and I do 7-day look backs. You know what I mean? And if it gets 3 strikes on 7-day look backs, then I cut it. Right.
Yeah.
But yeah. And I, like you said, it's a tough question. I also tend to say like, you got to be pretty big before I'm really encouraging you to put like multiple campaigns in there because you have multiple products. You know what I mean? I want to find the winning product.
This question is usually around like someone's just starting out. Right. Yeah. So when you get a question like this, like I have one guy that's very,
it's true. You don't even have enough context to understand the answer I gave. You know?
Yeah. And this, he's like, oh, like, it seems like none of my ads are working. I'm like, well, unfortunately you need to make more ads. Like in that scenario, like he's like, I'm spending a couple $100 a day.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nothing's really scaling. And I go, okay, so you have 2 choices. Are you going to go build a new offer? No, I don't really, this is all I really got, one product. You got to go make better ads. Like your ads are just not convincing someone to do anything. Don't even think about your structure. There's no structure that's going to help this or allow you, what they say, you can't media buy your way out of a bad product. Yep. People don't even know if this is a good product or not. Just make more ads that are different.
Yeah. A frame break here is like, ask yourself what it would take to 5x or 10x your ad output. You know what I mean? And they're like, oh, but I've tested a bunch of creatives. I'm like, well, what about 10 times more than what you've already tested? You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it's like, oh, I've tested like 10 creatives around this new product that I have coming up. Like, oh, no, 100. And then we can talk. You know what I mean? It's kind of the Mr. Beast thing where people are always like, they ask, what should I do with my YouTube? And I'm like, make like 100 or 200 videos and then you can ask me questions.
Yeah.
By then you won't have a bunch of the questions that you are asking me right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that like if this person's a beginner, the answer is like run a whole bunch more water through the well and then you'll have better questions.
Probably.
Yeah. All right. Nice. I think that's good.
Yeah.
All right. If you're watching this episode and you're like, damn, that was fire. Don't subscribe unless you've seen another episode and you also thought that one was fire. Then you can subscribe now. But if it's the first time you've watched an episode, you got to watch another one. We don't let you subscribe around here until you've seen 2. You got to earn the subscription.
Yeah, or just do it now.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.